Welcome, everyone. It's Kadidja Yansani from bloomintoyou.com and founder of the Client Creation Queen program, where I help my clients package their expertise and begin to get paid living their sacred calling. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with an amazing, talented client of mine, Virginia Baker Jeffcoat. Welcome, Virginia.
Hi, hello.
So let me tell you about Virginia. She is a career coach at Launch Your Dream Career. So raise your hand if you want to create your dream career. Who doesn't want that? We spend so much of our waking hours at work, so much of your life force. So it's really important that we're living in a time where you get to create what you want. So she is skilled at helping her clients land their dream position. Maybe you're already at a job and you want to move up the ladder. She can help you do that. She helps with resume writing. A lot of her clients are pivoting right now. Maybe they got laid off because of COVID, or they're at home and there's something they've always wanted to do and now feels like a prime time to do it. So Virginia is your woman for the job. So welcome again, Virginia.
Thank you, Kadidja.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you even decided to help others launch their dream career?
M- in starting a coaching practice, I thought it was really important to think about, what I have needed assistance with.
Mm,
And so, in thinking about my career that spans 30 plus years, what were some of the things that I needed help with? And so, based upon that, how I've been helped, I wanted to help others in terms of resume writing, in terms of looking at especially now with COVID, what are some things happening? They may be working at home and they love that. So how do you continue to do that? They may want to start a business. So my premise was to think about in terms of what the things that I've been helped with and how I want to support others, especially women who
yeah,
will want to launch their dream career, because everybody wants their dream career, but how do you get there?
yeah.
Is the key.
Beautiful. I love that. And what are some things, because I know that you've played a pivotal part in management and the hiring process. Like, what have you seen have been like the biggest mistakes when people are going for a job that they might not even think about?
Yeah, so I'm SHRM certified, and SHRM is the Society for Human Resource Management. I've been certified for a number of years. I've worked in positions where I was a hiring manager in terms of interviewing, looking at resumes, making decisions as to who will move to the next step. And some of the things that I saw, even the resume was not in the right order,
Mm,
or the person may not have read the job description when we did the posting of the job description. They didn't read it thoroughly enough to determine if they qualified. And then even when we asked for whether it was a cover letter and a resume, they may have sent a resume and no cover letter. I even think it's really important uh, when after you have your interview, even the follow up. Did you follow up to say thank you for the interview?
yeah. Well, it's so interesting because it's like people know how to read, but it's just like sometimes people are moving so fast. And this also happens in the online space where you might think that you're bothering people or that they read something that you wrote and they just maybe skimmed it. And so I'm hearing that you see this a lot, like people are skimming applications, and just by that basic step of not reading everything that's required, if they miss it, then they're not showcasing themselves in the highest light.
Right, correct. Yes, yes. And so when you get to the interview, also just making sure you're prepared, you're dressed properly. Now today I'm being interviewed, but this is December 22nd for the holidays, and so I have on my festive gear. Make sure you know the culture of the organization. That's really important, and what they're expecting, and then making sure it's a good fit for you in terms of the organization, because that's a place you're going to spend a lot of time. You just want to make sure it's a good fit.
Awesome. I love that. So what made you decide to work with me to begin to grow your career coaching practice?
Yeah, so I decided in 2020, this unprecedented year, I wanted to start a coaching practice to support women. And I'm on Facebook, and I received from one of my Facebook friends, Kadidja's invitation to join the group, her private Facebook group. And so I started listening to the videos from Kadidja. I set up a client coaching call just to touch base, see what it was about. But as I listened to Kadidja's videos, I knew I wanted someone to help me set up my coaching practice because that's what I didn't have the tools. And so as I listened to Kadidja talk about what she would offer, I just like her voice tone, and the person that I felt would coach with ease.
Mm.
Uh, Not just the ease of it, but also being keeping me accountable and providing me with the tools that I needed to get through my coaching practice. So I felt like I was in coaching school. If I'm going to go to school, I want to make sure I have the right instructor. So I felt Kadidja and I made there was, even though we had never met, she's in California, I'm in Georgia, that we made a connection in terms of what I was looking for. I love the idea that she likes for you to be grounded before you start your coaching session. So that appealed to me because I'm a proponent of self-care. And then just the resources that I saw in terms of what her package would offer, that was a selling point for me, because I was looking for like something that was going to move me from point A to point Z.
Mm. Beautiful. Well, I love that. I love hearing that. I don't even know who your friend is, but I love that she shared my stuff on her Facebook. That just makes me really happy. And so can you share with viewers like what in your mind were the tools that you were thinking like you felt like there was a gap? I just need to know this, then I can move forward.
Yeah, so having the tools in terms of the client introduction sheet, how do you make the sale? How do you schedule appointments? How do you get your mind right so you can move through this process? My thing was, and this is something I always say, if you work the process, you get the product. So my thing was, how do I work through this process? There were some stumbling blocks along the way in terms of mindset and, other things happen, life happens, family issues and so forth. But I kept pushing through, and then Khadija just kept encouraging me and celebrating with me when I reached those milestones. So that was really important for me in this process is, starting, I don't want to start something and not finish it. So we stayed on track. Even if we missed a session, we went back, made it up right away. And I always encourage, anyone that's in a coaching program, that you continue and that you don't give up, just keep pressing forward.
Yeah, well, I think it's really important that you brought up stumbling blocks because sometimes people are looking for a magic pill and they think like I'm just going to do this and then it's easy coasting from here. And so can you share with folks like what did you bump up against in terms of mindset or stumbling blocks as you began to put yourself out there?
Yeah, so I'm bivocational. So I work full time and then I have the business part time. And so just the time that it takes to dedicate to your coaching practice, it was just a time thing. Like, you want to write content, you want to make sure you're on point. I set up a practice client so I could begin to, practicing with the client, making sure all the forms were in place and my process. Because I would say to anyone that wants to start a coaching practice, make sure it's your coaching practice. This is what you're comfortable doing. Even though Kadidja gave me all the tools, I still had to make them mine. So, running up against being bivocational, family concerns and, life happens, just dealing with that. And then just, mindset too. One of my things, and Khadija helped me work through that, and I'm still working through, is around charging for services, how much to charge. So the modules that Khadija provides, and I'm thankful those modules will still be available to me after coaching with her. But just a lot of it is you just have to work with your mindset, get your mind right, as they say, so you can move through those processes. But just great information. I told her I have two theme books with all my notes in them that I can refer back to, just rich information that will help me along my journey.
Hmm. Well, what's so interesting is that I love what because sometimes our mind tells us we're ready for something, or maybe, your mind, your ego, whatever tells you you're ready for something. And then once you come close to it, you might find that there are a few steps in between before getting to where you want to go. And in most programs, whether you're like going to medical school or to massage school or to therapy school, like they require a certain number of intern hours so that you as the practitioner, coach, or guide feel comfortable feeling like you can bring your services to the marketplace. And I love that you did this. Like you gave yourself these hours to really be in real time with someone, because now the value that you can provide because you're seeing it in real time. Sometimes it's harder to see that when you haven't had that experience. And so I appreciate that you're saying that. You're right, we all have to move at our own step. And sometimes there are a few steps prior to getting the result that we want.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
it's like moving at your own pace, giving yourself time, giving yourself grace, having self-compassion for yourself.
absolutely.
So so important. And it's like you may start a process, and even as we went through the whys, trying to discover even, okay, what type of coaching, just that having a thought partner to help me through that. Like, okay, what do you want to do? Why do you want to do that? Because we have to know our why. And so that was really key too. And you have to make sure, this is your coaching practice and it's the type of coaching that you have. I would say for me that I'm comfortable with, and I feel like I have some level of expertise.
Beautiful. Well, what would you say were some of your wins during our work together?
So I would say being able to put together a market research process where I was able to interview women to find out, what were some of their needs. That helped me also to determine what type of coaching, in order to help me to put together like and think about what type of coaching practice I wanted. So the market research helped with that part. Um, Pulling together a practice client, someone that I did interview doing the market research. I told the ladies, I said, one of you will be awarded free coaching with me. And so I'm still coaching that individual now. And it's helping me to determine like what are some areas I need to tighten up on, making sure I have all the forms in place. And then another part of it is having a private Facebook group. So I could have started the group a long time ago, but with Kadidja's guidance, I was able to start the private Facebook group, and we're up to 102 members in less than 30 days. And so that's a milestone. A win,
Yay!
just being able to get that going. And I just understand now the importance of content, and also putting yourself out there as a expert in your area. Not
Yeah.
only in the field, but your particular area of that's your area of expertise. And I would say to people, don't give up, and just be tenacious about what you're trying to do. And I've also signed up with other coaches who may have information on there just to learn what other folks are doing as well. So you have to, it's almost like being a student of the trade,
Yeah.
I'm just digging deeper and trying to learn and read, and what does this mean, and what are the needs out there, and get feedback from my from those who are out there doing it and been doing it for some time. So I'm looking forward. In January, I'll be having an event just for my private Facebook group. I have a marketing guru who's going to come on and talk about branding. And so I'm looking forward to hosting my first event in January 2021.
Oh, congratulations, Virginia. That makes me so happy to hear. And I've been watching you. I'm watching you position yourself as an expert. And the name of your Facebook group is Launch Your Dream Career, right?
Yes, Launch Your Dream Careers. Women that launch their dream careers.
Women that launch your dream career. So feel free to check out Virginia's Facebook group called Women That Launch Their Dream Careers. And so I'm curious, like, what advice do you have for someone? Because it is, so I have found that some clients are afraid to start a Facebook group. It's something they've been thinking about. they want to grow an online community, but they're a little bit hesitant. And I'm wondering if you could share with folks if you were hesitant and how did you move past that, and where are you now on the other side of actually committing to do it?
Yeah. So I think again, you have to get out of your head. And so once I got out of my head, my husband has a private Facebook group. So I talked to him and I said, this is what I want to do. He helped me find the background for it. And pretty much I set up my, like what it is. And it was not hard as I thought it would be. I was just up in my head. I could,
Yeah.
once I got out of my head and said, okay, let me do this. I just sat down one evening and I did it. I just dedicated the time, found the background, and I've been posting at least every day or every other day, something in the group. I've invited people in, gotten some really good feedback. So just looking forward to taking it to the next level. But it's just a matter of saying, okay, I can do this. And
Yeah.
I use that Nike, just do it. Just say, hey, I can do it. I'm going to do it. And just make it happen.
Yeah.
Once I got out of my head and said, okay, let me do this, and then it just happened. And I was like, wow, this wasn't hard. And I think a lot of what I've done through the
Exactly.
coaching school has been just a matter of doing it. That's like with my practice client. I was a little afraid with the forms, or learning Google Docs and Google Forms, and Kadidja was talking me through those, and I was like, oh, this is just learning new technology sometimes can put you in a state of fear. But then
Yeah.
you have to step out of the fear into your faith.
Yes. So good. I love that. Step out of your fear and into your faith. And you're right. Like there are some things that when you're looking at the time, how it takes less than 5 minutes to start a Facebook group or to start a business page. Yeah, you're right. Like sometimes it's easy to get up in your head about it, not because of how long it's going to take, but what it means. It's like, oh, I'm the leader now of this group, and are people going to join and all of that? And you did it anyway. So I love that. And then the last question I have for you is, I wondered if you had any, like, what was going on in your mind in terms of, should I invest in this? Should I not? Maybe I should wait. Like, what, if you could just share with folks where you were in terms of investing in yourself?
Yeah, I just think it's really important, especially as women, to invest in ourselves. And one thing I liked about Khadijah's program is using queen language. So the queen would say, "I will." The queen would say, "I can." The queen would say, "Watch me." And
Hmm.
so that's where I really felt like I wanted to make. Once I went through some of Khadijah's videos, we had our consultation. I knew it was something I needed to invest in. Once I heard the fee, it didn't scare me, but I knew it's like if you don't invest in yourself, then who are you going to invest in? And so for me, it was a no-brainer. The funds were there, and then I'll be transparent. I had received a loan from the SBA
Hmm.
to invest in myself, to invest in my business. And I decided to use my SBA investment money to invest in coaching. And so that's how I ended up with Kadidja, because once I did my research, I reached out to several coaches, but then I selected Kadidja as my coach due to what I said earlier in terms of ease, in terms of the resources offered, the support, the modules. I love sitting at night, just going through the modules and writing notes. And the next time we coach, we would talk through them. So it was just a seamless process where I felt like I was pushed to excellence. I'm still growing and getting there. I'm not there yet, uh,
Yeah.
but I feel like I have all the tools to get there.
Virginia, you're gonna make me cry on here. So I'm so proud of you, and I just feel like your clients are so lucky to have you. I know how much you really care about supporting women, to know that they can get paid more money in their salaries, or that just that it's an opportunity if you've been laid off, that there's something amazing waiting for you. So I highly encourage you to reach out to Virginia. You can also check out her Facebook group at Women Who Launch Dream Careers. So thanks so much, Virginia. And did you have any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I just want to thank you, Kadidja, for being who you are and for supporting women, for being a woman of excellence. You've been my role model. I see all the content you put out. I'm like, wow, when did she have time to do all that? But knowing that it's doable, and I'm just thankful that our paths crossed, and that the great things going to be coming your way, my way, and other women their way as well. And we just have to stick to it and just stay with it and don't give up and just continue to affirm ourselves as
Yep.
women that we can do this. We are built for this. Stand in our value and stand like a queen and
Yes.
that queen language.
Well, thank you so much, Queen Virginia. Happy holidays and happy holidays to you all out there. And